Hello, folks! Welcome back to The Casual Fandom, where we talk about comic book movies, pop culture, and a bunch of different fandom topics. We're extremely sorry for putting out this episode so late, but we have prepared something very different for you people today. We'll be keeping it casual as usual. But yeah, today we have a very interesting episode planned out for you. So we're gonna discuss sci-fi movies, and this is gonna be part one of a bunch of other episodes that we'll be doing covering sci-fi movies. So if you're all fans of sci-fi movies, I mean, क्या आप क्रिस्टोफर नोलन का पिक्चर देख के हिलाते हैं? I mean, it's gonna be an interesting episode because we have a variety of sci-fi movies that we are covering. So the movies that we are covering today in this episode will be Martian, Looper, Annihilation, and Arrival. If you have watched all of these movies, you already know like how a different approach all of these movies are taking on some kind of theme, but they all are sci-fi movies. So we're gonna be discussing all of the aspects of these movies, like what was the interesting sci-fi element in it, what kind of theme was it, anything else that is interesting. We're going to be covering it. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun. So let's start with the first movie. So the first movie that we're going to discuss today is Annihilation, and Lazar has a bunch of stuff to talk about it. Lazar?
So yeah, about Annihilation, this movie came back in 2018 Netflix. So the main star is Natalie Portman and from the director of Ex Machina, Alex Garland. So this was a pretty cool movie. Like if you've seen it, you'll be like at the end of the movie, you'll be like, "Kya hua kya?" Matlab, what happened here? Like we totally clueless afterthought of the movie. So this is basically a what do you say, kind of a thought-provoking sci-fi movie. Like it's unusual from the mainstream sci-fi movies where people can get the idea of what is happening around the movie. Like it's almost a spoon-fed. So in this movie, it's not like that. The idea and the motive behind the story is not spoon-fed. It's to be interpreted by the audience themselves. So from my experience, as I would tell you that watching this movie one time won't be enough. Like you have to watch it more than two times or something to completely understand it by yourself. Otherwise, you can just refer some YouTube videos like I did.
That's just because you're dumb, Lazar. All of us are pretty smart here.
Yeah.
एक बार में समझ गए हम लोग को.
Yeah, IIT level is over. So the thing which intrigued about this movie is both the visual and audio delights. The soundtracks were completely like horrifying and like it was very good, real good. Something which has not come from the legendary Hans Zimmer and being that good. So soundtracks were good. The visual approach were good. Representation very good. If you've seen the movie, you can relate to it because of the mutated world and the mutated animals, the environment, the main thing of the movie, which is the shimmer, the colors of that thing. It invokes a feeling inside the audience. I related, like you can feel that kind of alienated feel, like alien but not hostile. That feel, you can get that feel from this visual representation from this movie. Also, the theme of this movie is centered in three major themes, that is duplication, self-destruction, and mutation. So you can completely watch through the movie. Like the main plot, the plot theme of this movie is human self-destruction. So if you've seen the movie, you can relate with all the five lady characters who go into the shimmer. All of them have a self-destruction tendency to them. One is a suicide victim, another is a person who cheated on her husband, other one is having a cancer and is decided to kill herself in the sake of research, and the other is a drug addict. Another one is has a suicidal tendency because she lost both her husband and her daughter. So all of them knowingly are going into the shimmer, the alien infected area, knowing that they won't be coming back. So they know that they will die in there for sure. So they all have this self-destruction mentality to them. So that's the common between them. And the main subplot, the main theme, not subplot, the main theme of this story Also the second theme of mutated world building and the mutated environment inside the Shimmer, the flowers, the animals, the exploded human with algae and flowers coming from inside him, that the like masterpiece kind of art that you can see, like like installation works on walls, you see, like kind of like modern art stuff. Yeah, that kind of things are there on this movie. And
Yeah, it was like there were it had a lot of horrifying things, but it was beautiful at the same time. Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it looked nice. I don't know. It's some
Well,
fucked up thing.
but like if you go for a alien movie, like it should be a, like as per cliche terms, it should be horrifying and terrifying and everything. But here, it's the kind opposite, right? Like it's beautiful and like kind of like invoking to the person who is watching it and everything.
That's
Also,
the thing. That's the thing about this movie. Like when you see it, you first see the beautiful visions, the colors. It puts you at ease. But as you get toward the end of the movie, then the unsettling feeling starts to creep up, and that's what makes this movie so like powerful in a way.
yeah. It changes, like it creates a different perspective in our mind, for me when I saw this movie, you can clearly see that two characters in this movie as a whole: the alien being, which is trying to bring in a change in this world through mutation and duplication and everything, and the humans who have a self-destruction tendency. So the alien is trying for a growth thing in this world, and the humans who are the self-destruction beings are going through that method, and that itself is the reason they defeat the alien in the end. So it was kind of a like poetic in the end. Like the ending was really good. Like I also the concept voice, like she explains in that movie, like a light is refracted through a prism, that shimmer refracts the DNA into mutation, like changing the person from within. Okay, so that is like a mind-blowing concept to me. Like once the person enters it, from the gene level, the person is a changed person. So knowingly or unknowingly, that person is not the same once he enters it and comes out. So that you can watch the movie and can relate to it, because her husband who comes back is a different, like a total different clone and everything. And the shimmer is like a being that is bringing up change as a part of an evolution. And it also duplicates through mutation and everything. So like it's kind of like a biology approach kind of movie. So you don't have to be a nerd, but you can get the feeling of what this movie is trying to say. Also, I like the point of this key point in depicting the human is by depicting the alien is self-destruction. Like at the ending, the climax, the alien duplicates itself as Natalie Portman, the character known as Lena. So at that point, the alien is literally like virtually indestructible. You cannot defeat the alien. Like it's that much powerful. So what does she do? Once the alien copies her, like the alien has the base code of self-destruction of her mentality. So she hands him the grenade, like she hands herself a grenade, and the alien accepts the grenade as its self-destruction mentality. Like it was fucking poetic. Like I like that point about this movie, about both growth and self-destruction thing. Kind of it echoes back to the title of the movie, Annihilation, like the tendency of humans to self-destruct, annihilate oneself. Like like the poetic terms kya bolte hain? Like that kind of philosophical thing. So it was that kind of movie. Like it is not kind of an entertaining movie, but you sure will think about this movie like later on in your life. It won't be entertaining, but you will think of this movie later. So it's that kind of movie, Annihilation, and it's a must-watch if you are like having like if you read a books a lot and everything. So another point which I had to mention about this movie is like the approach of the director. Okay, so the director like as in all sci-fi movies, we see this all the alien creatures have something to relate to. Like they come to Earth in return of something, like resources or human intelligence or human body. Like they need something from us. So in all the sci-fi alien movies, aliens are represented like that. But the director, like I am quoting him, so he says that when we deal with aliens, we often make them like us in some way. Maybe they want to eat us, or maybe they want our water or resources. But these are all sort of human concerns. We are motivated by things and we have agendas. An alien might not have an agenda or might not be even motivated. And so it was an attempt to create an alien, like an alien, like समझ रहा है? So as you, if you've seen the movie, you can like completely understand what the director is trying to say. In the end, there is this alien figure, like it's a complete what it's a the alien is a visualized mathematical formula. It's a full of fractal structure, like it's going inside, coming out, like a symmetrical shape and fractals. It's complete like a mathematical formula, like as the director mentioned it's in the script. So it's an infinitely complex in its movement and everything. So that's the thing about this movie. It's completely different from other alien sci-fi movies. So it's not what you expect from an alien sci-fi movie, like to be entertaining, like running around, chasing, killing and eating other people. No, it's not like that. It's a complete different approach on what an alien life on Earth could actually, the reason why they came here, like for a growth, or to change the earth, to terraform earth to their well-being, to create a super being which is free from self-destruction or self-destruction tendency. So this is a complete different approach from all the sci-fi movies. So Advait, you have something to say about this?
Like that is a good point, that like aliens are not necessarily always coming to, like run around and kill people. Like
Yeah.
if they want to destroy, they can do it in a different way. They might be coming for a different reason. Like it's not just to come. It's not just like, if you want to come to Earth, come to Earth.
They don't want to play hide and seek with us to kill and eat us. So there's
don't like, if you want to come to Earth, come to Earth. Don't come inside us and make babies inside us.
This is the message that will be broadcasted on our future space missions to explore alien worlds. As Lazar mentioned in his last point, what I liked most about this movie was that the director or the filmmaker tried to create a different kind of alien. Like it was an alien, all right. Like in most of the alien movies that you see, the aliens are they are the creation of a human scriptwriter, no? So even the aliens are humanized in some sort of way. They are given some tendencies which humans have in themselves, like destruction of cities, destruction of countries, which is usually America.
Yeah, always alien finds America more interesting than rest of the world.
what is wrong with this? Like everyone is finding America. Columbus bhi America mila. Aliens bhi aaya to pehle America mila.
I mean,
I guess they go by the alphabetical order. Like America is like right up there.
Alphabetically Algeria जाना चाहिए.
Because America, Australia, खत्म. उसके बाद कुछ है नहीं.
Yeah, I think like you can justify it because as America is the like most powerful nation on earth, so eliminating them would be the first move to make to capture the whole world. So like that kind of
America is basically the Gucci gang.
third world country with a Gucci belt.
Yeah. So like I was saying, it was a very different kind of alien. It was not. It didn't have any human tendencies. So it was a alien, all right. Okay, Aditya, what about you?
So I've not watched the movie in actuality, but as Lazarus described, this gives a new perspective of alien life on Earth. It's not just destruction, and they just don't want to eat us, or they are not just mere food. They might have a different, agenda. They might also have a different dimension. So it might be an interesting watch for me.
Also, Aditya, like it is one of the few sci-fi movies which like has a sci-fi biology element.
Biology,
like an interesting, like it's not just zombie attacks or some shit like that. No, but still, like it's sort of different from your usual sci-fi elements. I suppose.
So yeah, that's about the movie Annihilation. So next we'll move on to the movie Martian, and we will hear it from our favorite Martian pussy hunter Aditya Bharadwaj.
आइए
Congratulations, Aditya. Congratulations.
Thanks. Really humbled by being, designated with this.
But wait, why are we congratulating him? I mean, he's still a hunter, so मिला नहीं है उसको.
Milan, no, he's a renowned hunter, so you never know.
Anyways,
Congratulate him because he has already hunted. That's what we are congratulating him.
He's a predator on Mars, okay, so we never know. So Aditya, चल अपना ज्ञान पेल on Martian.
Yep. So, as the title says, Martian takes place on Mars, also known as Elon Musk's ka ससुराल. So, yeah, this takes place in 2035, जहाँ पर 5 people are sent to Mars for an Ares mission, and due to a storm, our hero Mark Watney is blown away and separated from the team. Team decides to wait, but there is no response, so they take off. Sad. Mark Watney wakes up after a day, goes to the hub, and decides to do a self-operation on himself because he's incisioned by a rod or a sharp object which goes through the
Abdomen.
Yeah, he gets like Tony Stark जैसा उसको.
So okay. So he's separated by his crewmates. He wakes up after a day, goes to the hub, and tries to do the operation for removing the sharp object inserted in his abdomen. Back on Earth, people think that he is dead, and they hold a funeral. Again, sad. Mark Watney regains his consciousness, comes to his senses, and he does the most uncommon thing. He vlogs about it. So yeah, he sits in front of a video. He creates a video log discussing what his life is going to be because he realizes that he has 1 month worth of supplies and nothing to go. Slowly, he tries to figure it out. And back on Earth, once they have done the funeral and all, they think कि अभी हो गया अपना काम खत्म, अपने लोग आ रहे, अपना chill है. Suddenly, plot twist. One scientist realizes that there has been some shift of a hub moving from one place to another, and they realize that okay, we fucked up. They have left Mark Watney back on Mars. Now they start the mission of bringing him back. Here, Mark Watney realizes that if he has to survive, has to make sure that he has enough supplies of food. So he grows potatoes because uske liye he has the potatoes already, and
potatoes are the main character of the movie, right?
Yeah, they are literally the lifesavers in this movie.
Lifesavers, yeah, exactly.
They goddamn rescued our Mark.
And shit also. Potato and
भाई अब मार्स पे कैसे सर्वाइव किए? आलू खा के.
आलू ले लो.
आलू खाया, आलू को टट्टी किया, फिर उसी टट्टी से और आलू उगाया, फिर उसी से खाया, and now I'm back on
Inception in its own form. आलू का inception.
Sustainable
Anyways,
approved.
So he decides to grow potatoes, and he uses science, which I'm not going to discuss here because वो मेरे दिमाग से फिर से जाएगा. Anyways, so after that he takes his rover, which you can call as अपना Tata Ace. He takes the Tata Ace, and he realizes that he cannot take Tata Ace towards the next Ares landing, which is going to happen after 4 years. So he converts into a solar convertible, which can take break, recharge, and move ahead. Similarly, then he figures out that there is a machine which is which was lost on Mars in 1997, which is the Pathfinder. उसको लगता है कि he can use the Pathfinder and somehow find the connection with the NASA, because right now he has no connection, which luckily works for him, and he uses the hexadecimal, which was taught to us in fourth class, and which I didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So if I am stuck in Mars, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be dead for sure. Anyways.
We all are.
So he uses hexadecimal to communicate. They send him a list of codes which he can put in his rover, again the Tata Ace, and जैसे वो communicate कर सकता है. By this time, the crew which left him are over Hermes. They are returning back to Earth. They don't know कि ये जिंदा है. They are given the news. They feel sad. Oh my God, हमने क्या कर दिया? Now, to rescue mission in Earth, they are trying to send him the restock supplies. They fast track the process because there is a situation on Mars where his Hubble or his hub blasts off, और उसका जो भी potato है, it goes waste. So he has only limited supplies again. They fast track the process. The rocket burns out. बहुत sad. Lastly, they realize that China, पता नहीं यहाँ पर China plays a protagonist again. China comes to rescue for Mars, and they help him by giving them their special booster or a special rocket, which can help them to restock and resupply. At the same time, there is a scientist who comes up with an idea कि क्यों ना Hermes को ही अर्थ के ग्रेविटी से घुमा के ऐसा यू टर्न लेके वापस क्यों ना भेज दे मार्स की तरफ, क्योंकि इससे फ्यूल बचेगा और बहुत सारा कुछ हो सकता है. So they you take the U-turn वाला ट्रिक.
हाँ भाई, पेट्रोल का भी दाम हो गया 100 रुपए से ज्यादा. बराबर किया.
वही. And they go to Mars. They try to save him. This guy, he has to lift off from Mars field. ये ऊपर जाता है, and then the most cinematic moment happens where इसका rocket और उनका Hermes वाला special does not meet, so he punches a hole in the sand. Like an Iron Man.
That's very intense scene.
Cinematic moment. They catch and everybody returns back home safely.
Like
did you just skip the most interesting part? Cinematic moments.
Which is
like it was like a competitive scene, just like to this interstellar docking scene. So kind of a similar scene tha. So it was very
Exactly.
nail biting and that
nail biting.
yeah.
So though I was
Aditya just went blah 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 all over it.
I just went science. Okay. So yeah, I like this movie. Achha, I was just making fun of it, but then I like this movie because it shows a lot of dimension of a person where if he is stuck, you have to realize that you cannot just give everything to God. अगर मैं होता तो like भगवान बचा लो, मेरे साथ क्यों कर रहे हो ये सब? But yes, you have to science the shit out of it. As Mark Watney says here, you have to decide what can go, what can work for your favor, or anything can go south. You have to really map. You have to calculate stuff. You have to do.
Like he repurposes everything, na? Like he repurposed the uneaten potatoes, the shit, the rocket fuel.
He figured it out. He figured solution for every problem.
As a scientist would
sitting
do.
and praying to Jesus.
I'm sure he was Indian at heart, क्योंकि सब कुछ का जुगाड़ कर लिया भाई ने.
वही जुगाड़.
So there's a scene where he chops off a wooden तुम्हारा cross of Jesus, and he is like, मेरे को लगता है कि God won't mind if I chop this up because he needs wood to light fire. If I was in his case, I would like, नहीं भगवान मैं नहीं कुछ कर सकता. So the fact being, he was not bounded by his affirmations. There can be anything stopping him. His main motive was to live, and it just displayed chaotic chaos of human emotions where we can understand and we can also learn कि यार ऐसे सिचुएशंस अभी नहीं मार्स में हमारे साथ हो, बट इन लॉट ऑफ एस्पेक्ट्स अपने साथ हो सकते हैं. वी हैव टू लिटरली फिगर थिंग्स आउट एंड सम वे और द अदर थिंग्स विल फॉल इनटू प्लेस.
It was a lot about how much perseverance we have as human beings.
Exactly. Basic things which I liked about it, it was not too detailed into science. It had it had comedy, it had this stuff कि अपन लोग समझ सकते हैं and we can enjoy the whole movie. Like if you say Ad Astra, okay, वो मूवी की तो समझ में नहीं आएगा, but this was not about it. This had its own element. It was comedic at certain ways. It was emotional. It kept you at the edge of the seat because तुमको लग रहा था कि अच्छा आगे क्या होने वाला है. Even someone who is not from the science background can understand this thing.
Yeah, like the main sub theme, like even though it's a sci-fi movie, like the main plot of this movie was survival on an alien land like Mars.
So हाँ, जैसे आदित्य ने बोला कि it was a science fiction movie at heart, but they did not get too deep into the science. मतलब even if you didn't know jack shit about science, you can still enjoy the movie pretty well because you know how clever of a character, how resilient, how much willpower the character of Mark Whitney had. मतलब everything he repurposed, everything, सब कुछ का जुगाड़ किया भाई ने, सब कुछ अपनी टट्टी को भी नहीं छोड़ा उसने, टट्टी को भी यूटिलाइज किया. Hats off my boy. मेरे से तो नहीं होता. I would prefer dying. मैं पक्का सुसाइड कर लेता था. That's a second.
मेरे को भी लग रहा है मैं अगर उधर होता ना मैं सोचता ठीक है मर ही जाता.
हाँ ना, मतलब see टट्टी would be a too much, मतलब that would be the threshold for me. The टट्टी हाँ
सर्वाइवल.
हाँ वही, वो टट्टी के ऊपर अगर जीना है तो भाई नहीं चाहिए ऐसी जिंदगी, पहले ही टट्टी. So yeah, anyway.
लेकिन टेक्निकली तो टट्टी पे ही जी रहा है अभी कभी भी. Like whatever you eat, it's someone's shit.
हाँ, but it's not my shit, no bro.
अरे
How do you know?
podcast प्ले कराएगा.
That's what I.
ये टैगलाइन होगा, यही टैगलाइन बनेगा, यही कट के हम लोग लगाएंगे.
Somebody else's shit and my shit, that's where I draw the line. Anyway.
A line of shit, right?
Yeah, I like.
हक के line बनाएंगे. इतना लंबा कैसा है?
Let's move on. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. Hats off to Mark Whitney's character, and hats off to the, let's say, what, director or the scriptwriter for creating such a brilliant character. And he had a lot of great. Matlab, obviously there were points in the movie where he could have chosen to give up, but he did not. There are also points he could have died easily, but that's plot armor for you. So yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good, entertaining survival come science fiction movie, and it was a pretty nice experience. I have seen it, I guess, 2-3 times at least. So that's a good movie for me.
वापस एक बार में नहीं समझा ना, मार्शियन भी नहीं समझा तेरे को एक बार.
अरे लावड़े, चुप साले.
The only thing I want to add is like we tend to overlook सब लोगों का एफर्ट्स. अपन लोग सिर्फ वो मेन कैरेक्टर का देखते हैं कि like how much
अरे नहीं, मैं सबको
perseverance he
मैं
had.
बोलता हूँ.
Obviously he had it, that's why he survived. But then
True.
सब लोगों का एफर्ट्स भी कितना डाला, like all the people who were working like 24/7 on Earth,
24/7.
trying to
Yes,
maintain
yes.
communication
And
with them,
नाम
understanding
ना
what he's trying to say, and क्या बोलते हैं उसको, you know, working on sending the
Codes and everything.
satellite back, like using the it's called catapult रहता है अपना, gravitational catapult.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, because even अपना Mars orbiter mission ना, that India had sent, they use the same thing. So they basically like send your ऐसा satellite around a planet, and it uses the gravitational pull to change directions, and it also like kind of accelerates.
I वो intern था ना, like the guy who came up with it.
विंसेंट कपूर who was मार्स का मिशन डायरेक्टर, जिसने पता किया कि पाथफाइंडर को कनेक्ट कर रहा रहेगा ये करके.
Yeah.
And then there was सीन बीन जो बंदा है वो he was Hermes डायरेक्टर, वो like देवता मानुस who sends Hermes ऐसा लीक करता है कि भाई देख, तुम्हारे पास 2 ऑप्शन है, तुम लोग आ सकते हो, जा सकते हो बेसिक. एंड क्योंकि नासा का डायरेक्टर बोलता है कि भाई हमें 5 लोग का जान रिस्क में डाल सकता है, ये बोलता है कि नहीं, ये तो फ्लाइट वालों को डिसाइड करना है. सो दैट इज देयर. एंड या एंड दैट JPL प्रपोज जेट प्रपोल्शन लैब वाले टेक्नीशियन, जिसमें अपना वॉन्ग का कैरेक्टर है,
Benedict Wong.
हाँ, बेनेडिक्ट वंग का कैरेक्टर. So yeah, these people also were integral part of the movie plot, and as well as Hermes के mission crews who took the decision कि अपने वापस जाना है. They blew one part of the Hermes to stop the तेरा क्या बोलते हैं rocket का velocity. They make a bomb inside and they do it. And it was like technical fun, but basically.
Like lot of moving parts together, working together to get one man back to Earth.
Like that's why I like every piece of it. It's not
Teamwork.
Interstellar बहुत banks on emotions as well as technical. Okay, it was good movie to watch entirely because it was hardcore science. Martian, though it had scientific elements, but तेरे को पसंद आया है. You could like as you said, Interstellar समझने के लिए मैं भी भले I am from engineering background, I could not understand it. Martian, even if you are not from an engineering background, you can understand the emotions. You can just follow through the movie. You can love it. That's why I like this movie entirely.
I believe जिस दिन हमको मूवी समझने के लिए डिग्री लेनी पड़ेगी, उस दिन अपना लाइफ एंड हो गया ब्रो.
टेनेट को like टेनेट 30 मूवी है, बट टेनेट को समझने के लिए मैं लिटरली बोल रहा हूँ, लाजर मैंने चैलेंज लिया. मैं आधा मूवी के बाद गिव अप कर दिया. मैंने बोला मेरे से नहीं हो रहा, मेरे नाक से खून निकल रहा है, मुझसे नहीं समझने को आ रहा.
अरे कुछ नहीं है समझने को. There is nothing to understand in Tenet. It's a fucking bullshit movie.
It's an intelligent movie, very clever movie, nice movie.
A person who has MSc in astrophysics can say this. A person who has BTech in civil engineering cannot.
That's
That's what I'm saying. There is nothing as a scientific about it. It's just confusing.
बात
and
करेंगे इसके बारे में एक दिन बात करेंगे पब्लिक. तो अभी इसे बंद कर.
Moving on. The next movie, which is based on time travel, that's Looper and Awake.
Yeah, okay. So starting with a few basic facts about Looper. So it was it's a 2012 movie. 2012 में movie आया था ये, and it was a pretty small budget movie. Like movie का budget was only 30 million, but box office में it went up to 176 million. So that's how well it did for a low budget film. So it's a क्या बोले, छोटा पैकेट बड़ा धमाका kind of thing. So let's get into what the film is about. थोड़ा ज्ञान दे देते हैं. So so movie is basically time travel is the central crux of the movie. So what happens is the year is 2044 and 30 years from now in the future, 2074, time travel has been invented. But the moment it was invented, the governments and legal institutions banned it because it could be misused for illegal activities and such. And as with anything that gets banned for misuse, that's exactly what happens with it. So obviously the criminal organizations, gangs, mafias and all, everyone started to use it. So what they do is कि future में whenever someone wants to off someone, वो उसको ऐसा हाथ पैर बांध के gag करके they send him back to the past. And past में there are these assassins or hitmen called loopers who then kill them and dispose of the body, like burn it or bury it or something, कुछ भी. तो future से that person is गायब and past में even if they find it तो उस body का कोई record नहीं होगा because he doesn't exist. So it's a pretty nifty way for criminals in the future. So that's the basic thing. Now why they are called a looper is because when someone agrees to be a looper, eventually in the future they send that person's future self back and their face and everything is covered. Every person who gets sent back, उनका सब face ढका है so that nobody can see, सबका चेहरा ढका है. So when they want to end the contract with that looper person, they send his future self back to that same person only and वो उसको मार देता है. And the only way you get to know is कि with every other kill you make, there are silver bars strapped to the chest of the person. That's your payment. And if you get gold bars, that means you have just finished your contract, you have just closed the loop, hence the name looper. So you get 30 years from then. Basically उस point से 30 साल आगे मतलब 30 years you have to live and enjoy your life. उसके बाद you die. So that's the deal you make. To ensure this, they sent one person called Abe from the future to set up this institution and set up this back in the past. It was a one-way ticket. So this is how the movie goes. So now the main lead, the protagonist of the movie is Joe, and he's played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So basically his future self is sent to be killed, but उसके face पे mask नहीं होता है. So he sees it and he hesitates and the future self runs away, and वहाँ से then shit starts to happen and everything. So I'll go along, talk about the points and also explain movie में क्या क्या होता है. So what I liked about the movie, मतलब starting में ही you open up with the scene, ऐसा खेत में खाली जगह है, वहाँ पे अपना Joe is holding a big ass shotgun and 5 seconds बाद there's this the man appears and he's shot to death, like ऐसा खून and so that was a pretty nice opening scene. It was like, oh, hardcore movie. Another thing is that though it's about time travel and it is set like almost 20-25 years in the future, but it's still, the society is still sort of primitive in many areas. Like there's still poverty, उधर पे अभी भी लोग धन like गरीबी में जी रहा है ऐसा. There's lot of crime and everything. It's future but it's not the future, like it's worse off than the current situation. So society is pretty hardcore. कोई भी किसी को भी गन लेके कहीं पे भी ऐसा चलते हुए मार दिया and everything, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. Everything is that like that. So also in the movie there's this thing, मतलब the people developed a sort of mutation, telekinesis mutation. So it's not very powerful. Like people thought it would become a superpower and people would become superheroes and stuff, but it's not very powerful. It just they can do छोटा ऐसा parlor tricks, ऐसा सिक्का लेके उसको हाथ में घुमाया and वो सब, that's there in the movie. But it also
I haven't watched the movie. मतलब इसमें so सब लोग को रहता है क्या वो powers?
नहीं, some like it's random. Like some people में वो mutation आ जाता है and then they can मतलब सा छोटा मोटा चीज they can थोड़ा सा manipulate कर सकते हैं. It's not very powerful, but the one who plays the villain is actually very powerful. Like this is one of the things he has, and which makes him powerful. And one of the reasons why Joe escapes is to kill that person in the past, because what happens in the future is somebody named the Rainmaker comes from nowhere, like out of nowhere he comes, and he starts closing all the loops. So basically he starts sending all of these future selves of these loopers back to the past and get killed by themselves. So ये अपना Joe, there's a younger Joe and there's the older Joe, the one who came to the future and escaped. So this older Joe, his wife gets killed by these Rainmaker people. So now he wants revenge. So he goes into the past and tries to find. There's a number. He gets a number from a person, which is a sort of identifier for this Rainmaker. No one knows his face. No one knows anything about him except that number. So he goes to the past with that number to find the future.
Who's Joe?
Joe is the protagonist.
Joe Mama.
Okay, no, I'm like, who's the older Joe? I guess the Joe, no? Who's playing the older Joe?
So, younger Joe is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and the older Joe is played by Bruce Willis.
Joe Mama.
Yeah, Joe Mama. So Bruce Willis की बीवी मर जाती है, then he goes into a rage, kills the people who apprehended him, and then goes back into the past to kill the younger self of the Rainmaker. Like अपना Avengers में the War Machine जैसे करता है ना, थैनोस के बच्चे को मार देंगे, वैसे ही same thing. So अभी he comes back into the past, but then obviously this younger Joe, he doesn't want him to escape because Abe will kill both of them. So younger Joe is trying to find his older self, and the older Joe is trying to find who the Rainmaker is. So it's वहाँ से their conflict starts. So at times it gets pretty funny. Like at one point they meet, and फिर when they meet तो scene ऐसा है, like बुढ़ा आदमी है, एक जवान आदमी है, एंड वो बुढ़ा ऑब्वियसली जवान आदमी को गाली दे रहा है कि तू छूटिया है, तुझे कुछ पता नहीं है, तू गवार है, एंड एवरीथिंग. तो लाइक इट्स प्रीटी फन टू सी कि मतलब बेसिकली इट्स लाइक बाप अपने बेटे को गाली दे रहा है, बट इट्स हिम हिमसेल्फ, मतलब वो खुद को ही गाली दे रहा है, लाइक कि यू आर अ चाइल्ड, यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग.
So the casting हुआ, like are they like the same people or they had different actors to play the different?
No, wait, no. So younger one is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and the older one is played by Bruce Willis. मतलब obviously they are different actors. मतलब aging या कुछ aging कुछ use नहीं किया है. They are totally different actors only. Okay, so कौन खा रहा है बे?
कटोरा खींचने का आवाज आ गया. आदित्य बोल दे क्या खा रहा है.
Sorry.
आ रहा है क्या? अच्छा, म्यूट कर दे, वो पीछे आवाज आ रहा है. यो कूल. ओके, तो पूरे मूवी में यू कैन सी हिम लाइक लाइक अब्यूजिंग, ऐसा उसको पूरा मूवी में उसको गाली मारता रहता है ना. दैट्स अ प्रीटी फनी थिंग. सो
Did they ever say go fuck yourself?
Go fuck yourself.
That would have been pretty epic.
Yeah,
But they can actually do that अगर ऐसा हो.
हाँ, बट उसमें ऐसा हार्डकोर लैंग्वेज नहीं है. लाइक ये उतना लैंग्वेज वो नहीं है, आर रेटेड नहीं है. तो इट्स लाइक दे टॉक शिट टू ईच अदर, बट ऐसा कुछ बहुत ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है. मतलब ऐसा गो फक योरसेल्फ ऑब्वियसली ऐसा तो है नहीं.
Action scenes में सब ऐसा blood and gore मतलब नहीं है क्या? Like
देयर इज ब्लड एंड गोर. मतलब क्लाइमैक्स में फाइट सीन में ऐसा वो पूरा से दो हाथ में दो आई गेस
one torture scene which I remember is वो I guess just one day तो जोसेफ गॉर्डन-लेविट का एक दोस्त रहता है who figures out कि एक्चुअली तुम्हारे ही फ्यूचर वाले सेल्फ को भेजा जा रहा है ताकि तुम मार लो. ठीक है, तो ये जो गैंग का ये रहता है, what they do is
he doesn't figure it out. Everybody knows कि मतलब this happened.
वो मार नहीं पाता, राइट? तो इसका हाथ काटते और वहां पर वो बुढ़े वाले का सब ऐसा वैनिश होता रहता है.
Yeah, so that मतलब वन ऑफ हिज फ्रेंड उसका भी पास्ट सेल्फ, उसका भी फ्यूचर सेल्फ को भेजते पास्ट में, बट ही एस्केप्स, लाइक ही हेजिटेट्स एंड ही एस्केप्स. तो देन एवरीबडी मतलब उसका ऐसा मैनहंट, पूरा मैनहंट करते हैं उसको ढूंढने के लिए. एंड फिर दे फाइंड द यंगर पर्सन, जो यंगर वर्जन है उसको ढूंढ लेते हैं. एंड देन दे स्टार्ट टू यू नो कट हिज फिंगर्स ऑफ. पहले उसके हाथ पे से लिखते हैं कि मीट अस एट दिस प्लेस. तो वो उसके ओल्डर वर्जन के हाथ पे स्कार आ जाता है. सो ही नोज कि उसको पकड़ लिया. देन हिज फिंगर स्टार्ट, फर्स्ट उसके फिंगर्स डिसअपियर हो जाते हैं. देन उसका पूरा आर्म डिसअपियर हो जाता है. देन हिज लेग आल्सो डिसअपियर्स. एंड समहाउ ही देन रेंगते लड़खड़ाते हुए ही रीचेस दैट प्लेस. एंड फिर उसको गोली से उड़ा देते हैं. सो प्रीटी हार्डकोर. मतलब they cannot let a person from the future lose in the past, no? मतलब
But one second, sorry, इसका concept क्या है basically? Like this Bruce Willis wants to kill a kid because he feels कि यही नहीं, उसको पता है कि यही बड़े होके कुछ वो बनेगा and सबको यही मारने का reason है करके, that's why. And then younger Bruce, Joseph Gordon-Levitt wants to save the kid, correct? ऐसे कुछ है ना?
हाँ, like he doesn't want to save the kid. मतलब starting में ऐसा नहीं था, but once he meets the kid, then he understands कि this is not the person yet. मतलब ये अभी तक Rainmaker बना नहीं है. He becomes so in the future. So then he tries to stop his older self की.
And series में वो older Rainmaker भी दिखाते हैं कि नहीं?
नहीं, ओल्डर उसका कुछ दिखाते नहीं है. दे डोंट शो द ओल्डर पर्सन, जस्ट उसका नाम ऐसे.
So this guy actually becomes something and ये फोर्स करता है कि यू नो लूप को क्लोज करना है करके ओल्डर सेल्फ को भेजता है. Is that the reason?
So the rumor about Rainmaker is that he saw his mom get killed by probably one of the loopers or someone. ऐसा कुछ. तो he मतलब his past was pretty fucked up. So when he grew up, he became a fucked up person. And
mommy issues.
Yeah, mommy issues. So the kid has mommy issues. The villain, the Rainmaker, has mommy issues. So उसकी mom को मार दिया करके. And it was because a criminal killed his mother. So in the future he decides to wipe off all criminal organizations, all mafia gangs वगैरह, everyone. So उसके लिए firstly पहले तो वो loopers को close करते हैं. Like he starts closing all the loops and then starts to kill all the gangs. मतलब जितना
technically the kid is actually the good guy.
Yeah, technically he is the good guy. But अभी वो गलत बंदे से पंगा ले लिया ना. ब्रूस विलिस की बीवी को मार दिया तो भाई फिर तो
वो भी उसने भी कौन सा बड़ा अच्छा काम किया. उसने भी तो लोगों को मारा ही था.
हाँ, exactly. So it's a moral dilemma. Like he killed people. He himself killed many people. But then उसकी बीवी मर गई, so he decides to kill the person. और वो like अगर वो फ्यूचर में ही रेनमेकर को मारता तो it was still okay. But he decides to kill the baby. मतलब जो बच्चा था उसको. So that's a big moral no ना. It's very unethical.
The younger Gordon-Levitt did a better choice of protecting the baby.
Yeah, like वो at the end he realizes that when the final climax में जब face off होता है, so he realizes that his older self killing, मतलब उसकी mom, the kid is there, his mom is there, बुढ़ा older Joe and younger Joe, all four of them are there. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt is behind, मतलब वो पीछे होता है. And he sees that his older self is about to kill the kid. But the kid runs away. His mom tries to save him and he realizes कि उसकी माँ मरने वाली है. Then he realizes कि it's a loop. If the kid watches his mother get killed, then this event will eventually lead him to become the Rainmaker. So ending में he points the gun at his chest and shoots himself. Older Joe disappears and the baby is saved. And the future is probably hopefully changed. That's the ending. So now I'll talk about what I liked. Well, what I liked was कि it was pretty simple, like time travel movie है, but
simple.
अरे see, simple in the sense कि it's a time travel movie, but इसमें there is no loops, there's no alternate timelines, there's no parallel universe, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
The whole name is Looper.
It's a loop, but it's a single loop and it's pretty easy to understand. मतलब कुछ branching off नहीं है. one watch is enough to understand the movie. दो second time देखने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. दूसरे most of the time travel
लेकिन
movies.
तू 2 बार देखा ना बे.
हाँ, I watched it years back ना, 4-5 साल पहले देखा था मैं. अभी पॉडकास्ट के लिए मैं वापस से देखा. So anyways, so it was मतलब as far as time travel movies go, this was a pretty easy to understand movie. But that being said, it also raised pretty serious questions and serious thoughts in the viewer. That is it like कि इसका future मतलब you are from the future, you have seen what a person does in the future, but you come back to the past and that वो अभी तक वो बना नहीं है. He has not become that bad person or the villain yet. So does it justify killing him already? मतलब पहले ही मार के किस्सा ही खत्म कर दो. Does it make sense? So that's the question is asked in the movie, and it is answered by the protagonist. You can at any point in your life you can choose to become a different person. You can choose to follow a different path. It does not have to be मतलब कोई आके तुमको बोला कि मैंने तेरा फ्यूचर देखा है, तू ये करता है. It does not have to be exactly like that. The future can be changed. It can change at every moment, at every decision you take. You don't have to become what other person says. और it's not about this मतलब time travel है तो it's future and past की बात है. But in general भी life में at any point you can decide to change. मतलब you can choose to not to do what someone wants you to do, or you can do what someone doesn't want to do. So that's one of the lessons, one of the key takeaways from this movie. You can change. Anyone can change. All you need is to have the perspective to see. That's one of the things that makes this movie more powerful. Like in the climax scene, there's no big action ऐसा कुछ in the movie. There's this thought-provoking scene when he realizes कि इसी के वजह से वो बाद में villain बनेगा. And then because in the whole movie Joseph Gordon-Levitt का character जो is shown to be pretty self-centered, मतलब उसका future version आया but he still wants to kill that person just to save his own ass so that he doesn't have to be killed. So he's pretty self-centered throughout the whole movie. But when he meets that kid, when he sees the kid is actually brilliant. Like he is pretty smart and he even saves Joe's life when people come looking for him. He saves his life, and also he realizes that this kid has potential. He can become a good person only if someone is there to guide him and show him the way. So अभी तक कुछ बुरा हुआ नहीं है, and doesn't have to be what his older self says. So at that point he makes the selfless decision कि if I don't exist, then that would be the best outcome. That would lead to the best outcome for everyone around. So that's what the ending is. So there are a few things I liked in the movie. एक उसमें था कि there's a छोटा सा financial planning के ऊपर there's a छोटा सा lesson which key takeaway which I noticed, someone might not, because every time you kill a person you get some number of silver bars. So what Joe did was he cashed in half of them and saved the other half, which later helps him when he tries to escape. And so obviously पैसा बचाओ काम आएगा जिंदगी में. And towards the end, older Joe, when he reaches the place to kill the kid, he travels in a car that has all his silver and gold जो इसने save करके रखा था. So after they die, the mother finds the silver and gold and उनका life बन जाता. तो basically अपना life नहीं तो किसी का life तो बन ही जाएगा तुम पैसे बचाओगे तो. That's one of the takeaways. So yeah, that was about it. That was pretty much the movie. It's a good watch. Okay, so guys, do you have anything to ask? अगर कुछ देखा नहीं है, कुछ पूछना है?
नहीं, वो टाइम से रिलेटेड चीज तो like the choice related चीज, like if you know what's gonna happen, you know something, you can change something, like, or that choice when you have, what would you do, like that theme I'm gonna talk about when we talk about Arrival also.
Yeah. So this मतलब another thing I liked is कि इसका जो like the way the story is shown, मतलब it kind of moves in a parallel. Like older Joe says कि since he's back in the past, every time younger Joe does something, the memory in his head becomes clear. Before that it's all cloudy because अभी तक वो हुआ नहीं है, nothing has happened yet, so it's all cloudy. But once जो younger Joe does something तो उसके माइंड में क्लियर होता. So the way they show it, मतलब ऐसा जैसे उसको पोर्ट्रे किया है कि he tries, younger Joe is running from this place, वहाँ यहाँ से वो अपने घर गया, then he tried to take the silver and try to run away with. तो the way they show, मतलब ऐसा parallel में जैसा वो shoot किया है, जैसे present किया है, that's pretty nice. And also बीच में there's just one point where you will get confused because starting में for the first 15-20 minutes of the movie it's from the perspective of younger Joe and उसके perspective से दिखाते हैं. तो first time he sees the older Joe, उसका he does not have the mask and he's sent in the past to die, so he is not able to kill him. But after a few minutes अचानक से the scene replays. He's in the field holding the gun waiting for someone to show up to kill, and this time his older self shows up with a mask and hands tied and everything, and he shoots him, and then he goes to check the silver and finds that it is gold. So for a few minutes it will confuse you कि हैं अभी क्या हुआ, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले तो ये भाग गया था, he escaped, he did not die, फिर अभी वापस क्या हुआ. So that point it switches to the perspective of the older Joe. First time around when it happened, he was able to kill his older self. He took the gold, he cashed them out, पैसा वैसा लिया, then he went पूरा ऐसा world tour पे गया. He went to China, then he went to France and इधर उधर जाके, then there he met his wife. He met his beautiful wife who changed him. He was a drug junkie, he was a killer. She made him settle down, she made him she was his happiness, she helped him find peace. Then Rainmaker के लोग आते हैं and then they kill her and then he goes off the rail. Then he goes back into the past where he decides that I killed my future self, but this time I am going to survive. So that also shows that past and future, the future can be changed. What you did in the past, you are a different person. The younger one currently right now is a different person. He can choose to be what you are not. So that's the central theme of the movie. And with this, I'm done, boys. Yeah, that was about Looper. You should definitely give it a try. It's a 2-hour movie, but you will enjoy the movie starting से ending तक पूरा अच्छे से enjoy करोगे. It's not too difficult to comprehend and it's a good watch. So let's move on to the next movie on our list, Arrival. Abed, over to you.
Okay, so Arrival is very different from most of the sci-fi movies, that have been coming out in the past decade or something. Because usually what happens with a sci-fi movie is they will have a very interesting concept, so what happens is either they do it at the start of the movie, they will reveal the interesting concept or something, the main basis of the sci-fi movie. For example, if it is some interesting concept like, let's say, time travel, or if it is, for example, Inception mein hai, you have what do you say, traveling through dreams and everything, all of that stuff. So either they will reveal it at the start of the movie or it will happen somewhere in the middle, and what you have is like a peak in the movie, and baki ka the rest of the movie is always like downhill from there, like from the peak, like it's just the peak and then nothing else.
Interesting concept दिखा के they lure you in and then the movie falls short.
Yeah. So you only have you look forward to only like that one moment where it is revealed like something mind-blowing and interesting, and the rest of the movie doesn't count really, and it doesn't feel good. It feels like a filler, So Arrival has done something to it doesn't end with just a peak, like it's it takes you through a journey, and it's very interesting. Like even after you look back at some moments in the film, you will find that, oh, so this is why they did this, and this makes more sense now, or this is why this was important and everything. So in that regard, Arrival is very interesting. So roughly the plot, first I'll talk about the plot and then I'll talk about what all things I like. So the plot is roughly, you have a professor in language her name is Louise, and the movie starts with her interactions with her daughter, and we see her like grow up in like 5 minutes or something, and then she passes away because of some disease that she has, and then we see her going to her university or college, wherever she teaches, and we see that we think that she is grieving, because she has gone through this period, like this montage that was shown
Yeah,
at the
matlab,
beginning of the film.
like the beginning of the movie itself, you think like she's under depression or
Yeah,
some
so,
upset
yeah.
kind of mood.
We think that she's grieving, and then we see that it is all suddenly changed. The whole mood changes when she sees that there is a interesting breaking news aata hai, where aliens have landed, like 12 ships have landed on Earth, and people are glued to the TV, but she doesn't care about
Yeah,
it, because
exactly.
we think that she's still grieving and everything. And then she goes to the classroom where students are distracted. Then they say that this is something really big out there, and eventually that day ends with her going back home, just sitting down, sipping some wine, talking to her mother and everything. Then the next day she goes back to the college. There is no one there because it's a big big thing that aliens have landed, and people are not going out. No one wants to go to college. I mean, I'll come back to this like later. I'll like finish the whole plot all the thing. So she goes to college. She finds no one in class, or so she goes back to her office or whatever. Then some people from the army come and they ask help. They ask for help regarding translation. I think a couple of days later or something, they come to pick her up. They say that we want you like there on the site, so we have come to pick you up, and they take her, and she arrives, and they say that you have to go inside the spaceship, you have to interact with them and try to establish some communication and everything. So there's a whole conversation they have. Louise is introduced to this physicist, Dr. Ian, and both of them are supposed to go in and start the communications thing. So they go in and they have interactions, and a lot of things happen in the movie. They are trying to figure out why the beings, these visitors, are here, and there are 12 of these. So this communications establishment ka cheese, this is happening everywhere, like on all the 12 locations, and we go through this journey of how she uses language, and what kind of tools she uses to establish kind of to understand their language and how they write. So their scripts are very interesting, which will come to later. And then by the end of the movie, we figure out like why the aliens are here, and a lot of other drama happens. Like some nations plan to attack the aliens because they are not sure what they're trying to do, or they misinterpret something.
Yeah, they just want to like either make contact or just leave the fucking place. So they don't do the either, so they just move into like okay.
Yeah, so it's like a variety of different reactions that everyone has. So a lot of drama happens, but by the end of it, it's resolved like why the aliens are there. They are there to give someone a new form of looking at things, that is someone who can look forward and back in time, like both, and that power is given through their language, and that power is given to Louise. So she figures out how to see through time, so she can perceive time as a whole. There is no past, present, future. It's all happening at the same time.
Time is not linear in their perspective.
Yeah, so they do that, and a lot of other things happen. Like this was just the rough things. If I go to the details, we're going to be like here for a long time. So I'll come down to what I really liked about the movie was, first of all, the theme of the movie. So first watch में मेरे को I was like full of awe and wonder, and I thought that was the theme of the movie itself. That is something that is so. Some creatures or some aliens, they're just so unbelievably out of our reach, and we are just completely in awe, and we don't know what to do. Like that was what most of the movie was about, because the main characters are constantly, trying to figure out what this is, what they are trying to say, and everything. It's full of this kind of wonder. I thought that was maybe what the movie was trying to go for. But then after I watched it a second time and I, read up about it a bit, like philosophers have always debated this thing that there is this paradox. So when you ask the question, what do people fear the most? The first answer that comes to is death, because people always fear death. They will do everything that's possible to, not die.
Like, is
Right.
this a common generalized answer from the philosophers as a community?
Yeah. This is the most basic like fear, because you don't want to die. I mean, any survival instinct that you do, like अभी कुछ हाथ जलता है किसी गरम
Hey,
चीज पे,
Advait.
so you take it away because
Hey Advait,
Huh?
you know what
Huh?
I'm afraid of?
yeah.
I'm afraid of being alone.
सबके सब अभी गूगल मीट लीव किए तो
मैं लीव बटन ढूंढ रहा हूँ।
मैं वो विजिटर्स के शिप पे बैठ के छोड़ रहा है अर्थ.
most people are feared of death, right?
Yeah.
But paradoxically, what we don't want to, why we don't want to die is, because we want to continue living. But paradoxically, we are also afraid of life itself, because we don't see life as a whole. We want only the good parts of it, and not the bad parts, and all the other things. Or you don't want to live, because to live also is, go through some kind of suffering, but people don't like that either. People are afraid of that also. That is exactly the reason why people are always trying to figure out what's going to happen. They're
Yeah,
trying to plan out their day, and they're trying to, reduce the number of uncertainties
Yes,
as far
yes.
as possible.
like
So that,
like Joker says, like for humans everything should be planned. Like if something goes out of plan, there's chaos. Like people are confused and like scared about, like if something deviates from a set of plan, like in everyday
Yeah.
life, things get scary and like uncertain, like to the point like what's gonna happen next. You can't predict what's gonna happen next. So that's a constant state of like anxiety, like what's gonna come next, like that state.
Yeah, so उसकी वजह से what people do is they are now afraid both of death, and now they're also afraid of life, so they're trying to control everything. They are afraid of living. So the movie has explored both of these things very well. So first, the fear of death ka thing is obvious in the reaction of people when these aliens arrive, because people are already trying to make these countermeasures. And for example, China, in the movie, they have assembled a navy and everything. They're prepared to attack the ship at any time because they're afraid of destruction. Same goes for all the common people ka reaction that we see on the news channels in the movie.
Yeah.
Ki sabke sab, all the news reporters and all the discussions that are happening, everyone is saying ki, why are we waiting for what's going to happen? We should attack them, because
The funny part in that movie scene, there's a podcast which says that aliens are like a threat to the world and everything, and army
Yeah.
people are listening to it, and they
Yeah,
just-
the army people are listening. Some random army person.
one day we will be making history like this.
but I really don't want to be that dumb person, because it was pretty stupid what they were talking about. Because they really wanted to, they were afraid of what the aliens could do.
Yeah.
So they were the common people were afraid of death and everything. But then the other thing was the fear of life. Okay, the main character Louise. After we finish the movie, we know that whatever events happened at the start of the movie, the montage of her and her daughter, it wasn't exactly her past. It was going to be her future. It had never happened.
Yeah.
So the movie made us feel that she was grieving, but she was not. So what exactly was Louise before the aliens arrived? She was someone who was not living, you know, she was
Dead inside.
yeah. She was just in her own zone, you know. She was in her comfort thing, you know. She didn't want to come out. She was a very introverted person. You can see that in her way she reacts to, you know, people huddled next to her TV when she's entering the university. She's indifferent. Even when the aliens arrive, she still thinks that it's okay to go to college, you know. And she's completely comfortable with sitting alone at her office even though the entire college is empty, you know. Like, she's okay with that. And Ratko, when she calls her mom and she says it's just the same, so she has been in that state of, you know, never changing, never doing anything. She has just been not living, you know. And then after she comes to the spaceship, and you know, she has to take her first step and go into that tunnel where the gravity, you know, is changing, and on the other side are the visitors. So she's really scared of that. So we start to see that fear of death, you know, of something wrong that might happen. So she started to get anxious, and that is kind of holding her back. So she's, you know, very shaken up and everything. Even after the first interaction, she's shaken up when she comes back. Then upon next, इसमें क्या देखते हैं? She figures out, okay, so if she wants to establish some kind of communication and everything, this anxiety and everything is, you know, holding her back, and a lot of things are happening. She literally takes a suit off.
Yeah.
It is thoda बहुत symbolic, you know, because she had finally started to embrace the uncertain things, the unknown thing.
Coming
You know, she
out
was
of the
not scared
bubble.
Yeah, she was literally coming out of her shell, and she was, you know, no longer scared of these visitors and what they're going to do and everything.
Yeah.
So she comes out of it and she starts to embrace what's happening, and she fully delves into their language and everything. And then what we see by the end of it is she has grown. After she starts to realize that the images in her head, all the memories that are playing, are not anything from the past. She obviously knows that. We don't know that. But she is still wondering who they are. By the end of it, she realizes it's gonna be her future. So what happens is, last में अभी अब उसको पता है what's going to happen. She's gonna marry Ian, and they're gonna have a daughter, and she's gonna have an incurable disease from which she's gonna die. So she has a choice, either to, you know, continue with whatever the normal events of life that will follow. Like, she will marry Ian and they will have a daughter. Either that, or she tries to change everything. So she has a choice to spare her child by not giving it life, not giving it the opportunity to live, but also, you know, spare it the suffering and suffering to herself, you know, watching her die and everything.
I have a doubt. Does it have an ambiguous ending? Does it have a definite ending?
Yeah, definitely.
So the ending, so she goes with the thing. Like, she asks Ian, what will you do? Like, if you know everything that was gonna happen, and Ian says that I'll say what I feel more often, which is what even anyone would do. Like, obviously, if we look back at our lives, we'll be like, you know, trying to do some things better, even if it's not something, you know, entirely different. Like, कुछ ऐसा अलग ही नहीं करेंगे, but we'll still try to do things more often. For example, if we have lost a loved one, we'll be like, yeah, I should have said that we loved them more often. So that's what Ian is trying to do. So that's a way of thinking. He would change things if he knew what is going to happen. But on the other hand, Louise doesn't feel that way, because she has learned that you shouldn't be fearing life at all. I mean, she's trying to embrace everything that's going to happen. अभी कैसा है, मूवी का स्टार्टिंग में all we see, like, most of the things that were focused on was the death of her daughter. But as the movie progressed, we saw more of her life unfolding. All her childhood experiences, all her interactions with Louise, whatever they talked about, her interests, her hobbies. She drew, she made sculptures, she wrote poems and everything. She, you know, played in the you know, lake that they went to and everything. So it's a way of saying that Louise is focusing more and more on the life of that girl rather than the death itself. So she has understood by the end of it that whatever relationship that she's gonna have with her daughter is going to be something that she cannot miss out on just because she's going to die. She embraces that she's going to die. She can't do anything about it. but that still doesn't change the fact that she's gonna have a beautiful relationship with her daughter. She's gonna give her daughter a chance to come. Now, not just with her daughter, her relationship with Ian itself. So starting में they are focusing on the fact that her father left, like Louise's husband left. Like that's what they focus on. They talk about that constantly, that they don't like the daughter after they learned about her.
Yes.
And it's focused uske upar. Then by the end of it, we see more and more of her father also, Ian also interacting with her daughter. Like उसके साथ वो लोग बैठ के book भी पढ़ते हैं, and she also sees all of the memories where they are dancing together, they are embracing each other and everything, and like she also embraces him in the end, at the end of the movie, and she says that I had forgotten how it feels to hug you. So she is also focusing more on her relationship with Ian also. Like she knows that Ian is gonna leave her eventually, but she still loves him. Like she realizes that it's okay. Like if things are going to end, that still doesn't mean that you should start them. You shouldn't start them. You should embrace all of it. It was kind of a resolution to this question of how do you avoid being scared of both death and life. So what you do is you embrace both of it, like life as it is happening, and death is also a part of life. So you embrace all of it, like all the sad things and everything. So that's the only way you can't be afraid anymore.
Yeah. Also, the thing, like apart from this philosophical theme of the movie, other aspects which made this movie more interesting is that I think this is the only kind of sci-fi movie. Like I think this is the only movie which uses language as a central theme for its plot device. Like I haven't seen, like maybe it's because of me, I haven't seen any other movie using language as a plot device which propagates the movie forward and forward. Like the language is the main part. Like it's a part, like it becomes a thing which changes a person's mind. Like when a person learns new language, if a person adapts new language, his mentality, his personality changes. Like his perceiving of things changes. So that concept, bringing that concept into a movie is like that itself is a big thing. Also they incorporated this philosophical theme behind the movie. Also
so the language ka thing is another thing that I wanted to touch is abhi, as Laza said, language is very much tied to how we perceive things, our understanding and how we think. So straightforward sense in the movie there was the differences. We perceive things as linear. The aliens have a non-linear perception of time. They don't see everything as happening one after the other or one before the other. They say all of it at once. That's one main difference. The other thing is how they focused on, for example, certain words and the vocabulary that we have. It also says a lot about how we think of things. There is a particular instance in the movie where they say we can't interpret what they're having. So what the aliens say and how they translate is they communicate as a sentence in their own language, in their script, a circular script, which also like emphasizes that they don't have a linear thing.
Yes,
there is no
yes,
start
exactly.
or end. It's all together. An entire sentence is given at once. So they analyze it and it translates to give weapon. So that can be misinterpreted in a big way because they mention the movie. When you tell someone like I'm gonna give you a hammer, and if you emphasize that it's gonna be a tool or a weapon, it can be used as both. Okay, but if someone perceives it as just a weapon, then it will be used as a weapon. If someone has only been taught that it's a tool, then they can never use it as a weapon. They will be using it constructively for something else. And we see that there is a disjoint. It's different. Everyone in the military is scared that they're trying to give us a weapon or they want some weapon from us. What are they trying to do? But can also very well mean a tool, which in the end turns out to be just a very interesting tool. It's not a weapon. It's not to be used against some other people. Obviously you can, but you shouldn't be. So that is one thing that is like uh, the perception or the vocabulary and how we translate it, उसमें लोगों का कैसा perception आता है. There is also that one scene where she talks about what kind of vocabulary is she gonna what kind of question is she gonna start with, and like she writes it on the board, like the question that she wants to ask, and उस question का अलग अलग जो चीज रहता है ना, elements, for example a question and a sense of individuality and everything. So all of these things have to be established separately, as she explains in the movie, that we need to understand whether these aliens, they understand, they have a sense of individualism or not, because it's not a common thing. For example, in an ant colony there is no individualism, there is no me or I, like it's just the collective swarm, what everyone is doing, what everyone is trying to do, whatever the goal is, if it's to get more food, that is the goal. It doesn't matter what you want to do. There is no individualism, and not the same for humans. We have our own, a sense of ourselves, as one thing, and it's separate from others. So that needs to be established, and it's not necessarily gonna be the same for an alien. It could be different. If they are like a swarm kind of creature, they won't have these things. So the vocabulary that you're going to use with them is going to be very different. It's going to be very difficult to ask a question. So the use of language to understand what kind of creatures they are, that was very nice that they did in the movie. एक और point आता है, अपन लोग usually कैसा, if we are going to think or imagine aliens, we have a very big tendency to imagine intelligent life forms as very humanoid. मतलब they will always, or most of the time, walk on two legs. They will be upright. They will have two appendages, like arm-like appendages, which they can hold things. And a lot of times you also imagine like them having a big head or brain or something like that. And a bunch of these assumptions.
On the contrary, when I hear aliens, I see that History Channel wala guy. Aliens.
Yeah, मतलब वही बाल वाला ना aliens.
Aliens.
So it also is like it goes along with the fact that in the movie these creatures, alien creatures,
movies में क्या होता है, मतलब basically from cult classics from 1970s or 1980s movies. So if one guy did a thing, they'll try to copy another movie, put a different variation, and that thing goes and evolves. And I would say like right now we have reached a point where we the directors or the scriptwriters know that humanizing an alien is bullshit. So they are like trying to like stop that thing. And we can see that in Annihilation, you can see like the alien is not a human, okay, and in these heptapods in Arrival are not humanized. So
and even like the way they interact with everything around them, that's also very different.
Yeah. So people are like you said, people are starting to think, okay, so they're starting to get like the old movies where the aliens had this humanoid faces or humanoid body. Like a general relative thing for audience, that thing should not be there. Like you can avoid that and still make a good movie. So people are embracing that and coming up with good flicks like that.
I mentioned this because this was an interesting thing that the movie touched upon. Like their perception, the aliens in the Arrival, they have a different perception of time itself. So I wanted to like touch upon this thing, that how we tend to think of alien life forms, but how different they can be, and how many things we can understand about an alien just by, for how much we can understand where they're coming from by looking at their behavior, and how much we can understand about their behavior by looking at where they're coming from. Yeah, so I think we like talked a lot of different things about like all the things that were introduced in Arrival. Like we strayed a lot. But yeah, overall the movie is really amazing. I mean, you can like watch it multiple times too. So even if you have watched it and you have forgotten it, you should like give it a watch again.
Okay, guys. So yeah, this was our first in probably hopefully a series of other sci-fi movies. Like it was pretty evident from the sci-fi movies we talked about that it is pretty easy to get distracted or get stayed because there is so much of stuff to talk about. मतलब एक ही movie में इतने themes है, इतना कुछ है, so there's a lot of things to speak. So hopefully we'll meet you guys again in the next podcast where we'll have new movies, probably new things, new stuff that is different from this time, and also we'll probably touch some of these topics again and have a discussion on it again. So yeah, this was it from this episode. Please do check out the movies if you haven't already. They are great movies. Do enjoy them, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.